Hi guys, I thought I'd make this quick sort of vlog thing, sort of like I did with the Bored to Death review, and just talk about my opinions on the new blink-182 track. I'm going to have to be quick because I'm incredibly busy, so I'm literally just taking a break to do this. My opinion on Bored to Death hasn't really changed since that review. I said it's good but not amazing, but it definitely did grow on me. I've listened to it a ridiculous amount of times since it's come out, and although I've kind of gotten really bored of it now, it's still a decent song. It's kind of ironic getting bored of that song actually, but yeah, it's good. I liked it. It gave me kind of hope for the new album. Then of course they released We Built This Pool, which is like a 15-second joke song, which wasn't really funny. A lot of people seem to go crazy about that song for some reason, but I didn't really see it. I just wasn't a huge fan. Like, the thing with their old joke songs is they were ridiculous and funny and weren't 15 seconds long, so that song just kind of seemed weird. Like, not even weird, just a weird thing to actually release early like they did. Like, I wouldn't expect that to be one of the first songs to release. I expect that to be just a random track on the album that, you know, no one really thinks about, but people went crazy for it for some reason. Now we have the new song Rabbit Hole, which I guess we now know the only song on the album that actually has swearing in it, which is, I don't know, a bit weird for Blink album to have only one track with swearing in it, but whatever. So my opinion on Rabbit Hole, everyone seems to be really mixed about it. People either love it and are going insane about it and saying, oh, this album's going to be amazing, or people are saying this is terrible. I am somewhere in between. There are things about it I really like the instrumentation on the track is fantastic. Travis Barker's drum work is amazing. Mark Hoppus's bass on the track is amazing as well. Like, he has some really fucking good bass lines on the track that I really liked. Like, that was the thing that stood out the first time I listened to it. I was just like, this bass line's sick. And even the guitars are actually surprisingly decent on this track. The Bored to Death guitars were not really anything special, and no, they're not anything special here, but they sound good, I guess. And the production work, I know it's by John Feldman, I believe his name is, who was the frontman of Goldfinger, produced many albums, including albums for All Time Low, 5 Seconds of Summer, so I was a little bit worried about him coming along and making him overly poppy. But what he did on this track is really good. It does sound like a modern pop punk song. Like, yeah, you can tell there's a lot of influence from the sort of the bands that are big at the moment, especially in sort of like towards the end with the gang vocals, all the vocals coming in at once to do the singing part at the end. Yeah, that's definitely modern punk, and also just all the vocals throughout the track, the way they're mixed and how there's double vocals on the chorus that you can definitely tell. Yeah, it's very modern pop punk, which I don't have a problem with. I'm happy with Blink adapting to the times now, but there's some big problems I have with the track. The main ones, it's the lyrics in this track. The lyrics in this track are absolutely awful. Like, seriously, they're some of the worst I think Blink have ever done. And I'm talking like not the joke lyrics at the beginning, the first couple of albums. I'm talking like proper serious lyrics that they've written. These are some of the worst they've ever done. They, Mark Hoppus, his trademark in writing lyrics is always to be very poetic when it comes to things, and pretty much all this track, every single line is a metaphor for the most part. There's so many metaphors and similes and shit in this song, and yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with the lyrics in this track because they're not good. It kind of sounds like he's taken loads of lines from different songs that he didn't use and he's just compiled them into this mess of a track. And yeah, there are lyrics where I'm like, no, this isn't too bad, it's alright for a catchy pop song, but for the most part the lyrics in this track are just terrible and it really ruins it. Like, I can't think of any specific ones, but just lyrically the whole track is just not great. Also, I think Matt Skiba's verse, he sings in the second verse, and he sang in the second verse of Bored to Death, which I didn't actually realise, and I talked about it being Mark, and I said his voice is really good on this track, but yeah, it wasn't. In this one, you can definitely tell it's not Mark, but his voice on this track just doesn't fit in. It kind of seems very out of place, like especially with Mark singing the rest of the track, and the two don't really blend together well. I don't really know how to explain it, but with Tom and Mark, they had two very, very different voices, but at the same time, they actually kind of blended together well. And Matt Skiba and Mark Hoppus don't really have really different voices. They kind of have the same vocal range in a way. And I don't know, the voices just don't really come together and like blend well, especially not in this track. They blend well when he's doing backing vocals in the chorus and some of the other bits he sings, but his whole verse, I just didn't think his vocals in that were great, and the lyrics especially were not great in that. But there's some really good melodies in the track. Actually, I think the melodies in the track are what really keeps the song going and what actually made me enjoy it. Mark Hoppus, his voice in the track is really, really good. I don't really know what else to say. You can tell he's got sort of a strain on his voice, but actually kind of like adds a little bit of a little bit of grit and dirt to it, which I really like. So yeah, as a whole, I would not say this track's as good as Bored to Death. It's better than We Built a Pool, or We Built This Pool, but that song's not good. But honestly, I am not huge on this track. Like, I've listened to it a few times already, and I do enjoy it, but I just don't feel it's as good as it possibly could be. This is kind of like what I was actually a little bit afraid of what they were going to become. Like, this track is actually kind of what I expected the Blink album to be, the new one. I kind of just expected it to be just not really sound like Blink, just be more modern pop punk with Mark Hoppus and Matt Skiba singing. And yeah, that's basically what this is. It doesn't really sound like Blink, and I don't have a problem with them trying something new or becoming different. I just think from the two tracks I've heard so far, this album isn't really going to stand out much in the band's discography. I don't know, from these two tracks, this album just does not seem like it's going to be anything too special, and it kind of seems like it may be a little bit forgettable. Bored to Death, if I gave that, like, I think would have given that like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, I can't remember if I gave it a score. This one I'd give like maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's not bad, it's not great, it could have been worse, but it could have been and should have been a lot better than it actually was. I don't know, maybe it will grow on me a lot more, but I kind of don't think it will, just because the lyrics are that bad that it just completely puts me off. I look forward to listening to the other songs. I have pre-ordered the album, so I'll be doing a review like shortly after that album comes out. So yeah, I'm skeptical about the album. It's a lot more now than I was before, so whatever. I hope you enjoyed this review. Videos will be much more regular in a couple of days. Literally just doing the last bits of my college work now. I literally just did a break now to do this video, so I'm going straight back to that, and hopefully soon there will be more videos. So thanks for watching this rabbit hole review, and I'll see you next time.
Run, rabbit, run, run, run.